People are going to ask. People are going to ask every single time they ask, when does the buff go live? The buff always goes live when the patch drops. All right, what is going on, my dude? So Karnak, KarGOD, is getting a buff, right? And as always, we went through, we highlighted everything we need to know. Last month, somebody said that the red for Ragnargod makes it very hard to read. So for skill champs, we're going to go with yellow. All right, Karnak is not a mutant. I guess I could have gone with blue because he has like the cosmic catalyst, right? Whatever, man. Doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. So we're going to go with a normal yellow highlight here. Let's jump right into it. The sky is looking pretty cool, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So, about Karnak. Karnak, Mander Azur, and human philosopher and magister of the Second Tower of Wisdom, refused the transformative Terrigen Mist and chose instead to train his body and mind like no other. Through his training, Karnak has gained immense insight into both himself and others, allowing him to see the flaw in all things and strike down his opponents with ruthless physical and mental precision. Karnak's mechanics. This is the important stuff, right? Karnak has spent his time meditating on the contest and has honed his martial arts to exploit the weaknesses of the battle realm. No longer is his 65% resiliency to poison shackled by meaningless things such as signature abilities. It has simply become part of him, remaining always active and giving him utility with liquid courage right out of the box. His focus charges allow him to hone in on his opponent's weak points as they build over time, increasing his critical rating and granting the ability to deal critical damage through blocks. Not too bad. His crushing heavy attack amplifies this crit damage with a devastating 20-second fragility debuff, and his damage output is only further increased with the 30-second passive fury on Special 2. Those who believe they're protected by auto block or evade will be equalized when Karnak Special 1 grants a true strike passive, and not even thick skin can protect those unfortunate enough to battle an awakened Karnak who can bypass up to 100% physical resistance with his new signature ability. All I'm seeing there is fight him with Spidey 2099. Alright, so let's keep going. We have some prestige here, pretty crappy. It's like fine. It's actually not. It's just not good prestige. So if you care about prestige, don't put SIGs into this guy unless you're set. I also don't think he needs it. We'll get to that later though, of course. But yeah, basic ability strengths, poison resistance, true strike, just like always. He's always had those strengths. Weaknesses, energy attacks. So basically he has like a lot of physical resistance. So if you're getting hit by energy attacks, like they specifically called out Magneto on their basic attacks, that's going to go ahead and hurt you, so don't get hit and you'll be fine. That's his only weakness, apparently. So abilities. Karnak's training and unmatched focus grants him the following. Physical resistance, block proficiency against basic attacks, incoming non-damaging debuffs suffer minus 60% duration, and incoming poison effects deal minus 65% damage. So that's all pretty good. It's a nice, decent bit of physical resistance. I'm going to make him, a little bit annoying on defense, especially with this part right here. So, especially like in, I don't know, man. I don't think anyone's going to be placing Karnak in war. He's going to be so easy to fight still, at the end of the day. But basically, in like quests and stuff, depending on the nodes, he's gonna have like minus 60% parry duration, so you want to use like a white max pre-fight for him. And also, he's gonna have some physical resistance, and if you hit his block, you have some nice block proficiency, right? So yeah, so you definitely do, if you can, want to fight this guy with some energy attacks just to make your life easier. But I think he still has that little push for a Special 1, and a Special 2 is not too hard to dex either, so he's not going to be too crazy of a defender, But just keep in mind, he's definitely going to be a little annoying on defense, okay? So, developers thought of running Liquid Courage and Double Edge Masteries. Karnak now becomes poison resistance right out of the box. No SIG ability necessary. So I really like that a lot. When I made a rank 5 Karnak video, 6 months ago, maybe more. And that was the biggest thing for me. It was like his damage was so bad that I kept spamming the Special 2, and I was running the Suicide Masteries, and I ended at like 95% health. And it was a very long fight. So he's going to be very sustainable, man. And you had to be SIG 200 for that. Now it's just in his kit. So that is really, really cool, man. That's really cool. So depending on his damage, we could be seeing like another Diablo situation where he's just so freaking sustainable and his damage is pretty good. So we're going to have to see how hard Karnak hits. At the end of the day, if his damage is still kind of crappy, then no one's going to want to use him no matter how sustainable he is, because he was always sustainable if he was at a high SIG. But now there's no SIG requirement for it, which is nice. So Let's go more into his kit here. Focus charges. Every 12 seconds, Karnak gains a focus charge to a max of 3. Karnak's focus timer is paused for 10 seconds each time he's struck, blah, 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 blah. Okay, don't get hit. So 1+ charge, 25, 66 critical rating, not too bad. That's like, gonna give him like mostly guaranteed crits, which is definitely not bad at all. 2+ charges, basic attacks can land critical hits to the opponent's block. Critical hit base abilities will not trigger through a block. And 3+ charges, basic attacks have a 50% chance to inflict a burst of bleed damage equal to 35% of the damage dealt by the attack. Not bad. So he's always had a mechanic like this where you start out, you know, with that focus thing going, and after like, what, 12 seconds, I think? Yeah, that's what it is now. Basically, you got the first one, you got a critical rating increase, and then you had like almost guaranteed crits, okay? So now you still have that, but now it builds further. So after 24 seconds, you can land crits through block, and after 36 seconds, you can have that extra burst damage, which is nice. Definitely very nice. Heavy attacks. Consume one of those charges to inflict a 20-second fragility debuff. Attacking a fragile opponent grants plus 525 critical damage rating and reduces block efficiency by 50%. Not too bad. That's a decent like critical damage rating increase. I feel like I'd rather have the bleed damage if I like the extra burst, consistent extra burst. If I had to choose, I don't know. I have to test it, but just looking at it, it's probably gonna, you know, I don't know. Who knows? This attack does not consume a focus charge if the opponent is intercepted or recovering from use of a special attack or charging or executing a heavy attack. So yeah, so what I was getting at though basically is that I don't think I would go for like a parry heavy. I would try to counter their special attack with the heavy attack all day long. Definitely, this is always funny to me. Look, this attack does not consume a focus charge if the opponent is intercepted. Don't try and intercept with a heavy attack with this guy. Just don't do it. Recovering from the use of a special attack, do that all day, or charging or executing a heavy attack, so countering a heavy. Do that whenever you want. But like, you know, Crossbones has the same kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, if you intercept with a heavy, then you won't, you know, use a Fury for currency. But it's just such a silly mechanic in my opinion, and it's dangerous and you shouldn't do it. So don't do it. Developers note, Karnak's heavy attack now serves a purpose. Consume a focus charge to gain some juicy crit damage increases or for free if you time it right. Yeah, so you don't want to parry heavy. You don't want to get rid of your charges, in my opinion at least. But yeah, Special 1, Distortion and Focus, 100% chance to gain a True Strike passive lasting 15 seconds, allowing attacks to ignore armor, resistance, auto block, and evade. Knocking down the opponent will pause True Strike for 3 seconds. So 15 seconds is very nice. It's almost twice as long. So it's almost twice as long, which is really, really nice now. While True Strike is active, Karnak will not stop gaining focus if he's struck. So that's really useful, of course. 15 seconds is a very long True Strike. It's going to be very easy to chain those special ones if you need the True Strike, but also if you consistently knock them down, you know, hopefully you do it in a way that keeps your focus charges here, then you're going to have it up for much longer, okay? So, Special 2, 100% chance to gain a passive Fury effect, increasing attack by 1200 for 30 seconds. This Fury is paused for 5 seconds each time the opponent is knocked down. See, so there's a lot of stuff that gets like paused and kept up if the opponent's knocked down. So if you're the type of player who likes to counter special attacks with heavies, likes to counter heavies with heavies, then you're going to like this guy. Personally, I do that all the time, even when there's no benefit. So I definitely am pretty excited for that mechanic. I do believe this Fury stacks. So, you know, if you use your Special 2 over and over, right, you're going to be having those Fury effects. 30 seconds is a long time. 5-second pause is a decent amount of time too. It looks like the damage potential on this guy could get kind of high. So that's very exciting. Developers note, Fury scaling with opponent HP has been replaced by a value equivalent to the former's max potency. Karnak no longer cares how weak the opponent is, max HP or run HP they roll, but does. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So it used to be like the less amount of health the opponent had, the stronger your SP2 is. Now, it's just a good SP2. So, Special 3. This is the same, pretty much. 100% chance to inflict a Disorient debuff, reducing block proficiency by 50% and defensive ability accuracy by 80% for 30 seconds. Daze has been replaced with Disorient, coupling the same defensive ability accuracy reduction with added block proficiency reduction. That goes hand in hand with his Sig ability, which we'll see in just a second. It's been 1 second. So, a stricter training regimen allows Karnak to begin the fight with 1 focus charge. That's great. So you're starting with like your increased precision rating, which is going to have you guaranteed crits right away. Additionally, basic attacks are enhanced in the following ways. Ignore 100% of the opponent's possible physical resistance, and striking the opponent's block grants Karnak 110% of the power an unblocked attack would have granted. So this probably has to be Sig 200 for this to be this good. But keep in mind, if you start, with 1 focus charge, right, after 12 seconds, you're going to be landing critical hits into the opponent's block. That's really cool, man. So critical hits on the block while gaining 110% of power. That's awesome. So strike into blocks with confidence, knowing your crit damage with 2+ focus charges and power gained through Karnak's signature ability will add up. So if I had to choose between critting them on the face and critting them on the block, I'm gonna go with playing normally and not trying to hit on the block. As opposed to Massacre, where you get a real benefit from hitting on the block. That's I feel like it's nice to have, but man, I wouldn't be rushing to try my best to get this guy awakened, I feel like what the Sig ability really does is a stricter training regimen allows Karnak to begin the fight with 1 focus charge. That's nice. Ignoring the physical resistance is also nice, but listen, so many people have Karnak awakened. He's such an old champion anyway. I'm just saying, it just seems like not the most necessary Sig ability, which is a good thing. So that's a good thing. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Synergies, I'd have to move the document to show you, but it's nothing crazy. It's just, critical rating, health, perfect block chance, with some champions, old champions. I don't even know if these are even changing for him. Well, it has to be because there's Psycho Man in here, right? But it's just it's nothing important. And then recommended masteries, it just says liquid courage because he's so suicide friendly, and cruelty because critical hits. So yeah, this guy's looking pretty darn good. He looks really good on paper. We're gonna have to see how spicy that Special 2 Fury is in game. I feel like he has a lot of potential to be good, just based on what's written in this document. He seems to be very sustainable, and he's going to have, mostly guaranteed crits, and hopefully that Fury puts in work. The True Strike, it's looking very reliable and a very nice True Strike. If you need True Strike in Alliance War, Power Start 1 boost, boom, there you go, True Strike. It's absolutely nothing. So that's really, really nice to have. So I think this guy is definitely going to have his uses, which is nice. Maybe he won't be a top skill champion. Reading this doc, I don't think he's going to be a top skill champion, but I think he's looking much improved. Of course, though, I'm going to have to test him out. That's all a guesstimation right now. That's all it is. Just an estimate. He looks good. And that's all you need, man. It's an improvement. There's literally no room. There's literally no room to say that it's not an improvement because everything has been improved essentially. It's just looking like a lot more damage and super sustainable, even unduped. So yeah, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big ol' like. How about you think about the KarGOD buff in the comment section below, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any KarGOD gameplay coming to you very soon when the patch drops. New patch. People are gonna ask. People are gonna ask every single time they ask, when does the buff go live? The buff always goes live when the patch drops. So that's when it is. All right? I'll see you then.